catch our event. I really feel the sleepiness there. So I hope this will be an eventful activities, and at the end of these meetings, we do have a Q&A sessions. So we welcome everybody to ask questions. Let me pass on to Frank. You have anything, Frank?
Oh, well, welcome everyone. It's a pleasure to have you here. Great to be in Malaysia, at least virtually. So yeah, super. I mean, when we first landed in India, 5 years ago, which was our first stop in Asia, we wouldn't think, we would serve hundreds of customers by now. And obviously, Singapore, Malaysia is the latest addition to our selection of exchanges. We're happy to be out there. We've been around for many, many years, 26 years. And when I first joined in 2006, there's 3 of us at DE-CIX, and I think we had like 100 customers on the exchange. So, by now we're the largest community-backed carrier and data center neutral exchange out there. And, we're more than happy to have many of you here on this call on the platform already.
Yeah.
But I don't want to waste too much of our time today. There will be time for questions later on, and I have a number of colleagues here as well. Enjoy the show today. Special welcome goes out to my friend Walt from Hurricane Electric, who's the first member of the DE-CIX ASEAN Customer Advisory Board. Walt, thanks for taking over that role and responsibility. That's certainly super appreciated. So yeah, hand it back over to Alina, I guess. Are you the master of ceremonies? So I'll let you do the rest here.
Actually, I'm the one who's going to kickstart the first presentations. So
all right, that is you.
Okay, all right, thanks, Frank. Let me just first of all quickly brief everybody about the updates from DE-CIX Malaysia, and then I also want to take a brief moment to show to our new members here what kind of resources is available under the DE-CIX umbrella for you to take advantage of. We will end these first activities with demonstrations on how to use our customer portals. So that will be done by my colleague Marcus. So first of all, let me just do a quick overview on DE-CIX. I know many of you probably already seen this, but there are those who are new to the DE-CIX world. So I just want to quickly give an overview on who we are. DE-CIX is the largest internet exchange group in the world. So we have a presence in 29 internet exchanges. We connect over 2,400 networks. Today, the Frankfurt is the exchange that operates the largest in terms of the traffic volumes around the world. We have access in 500 plus data centers with 85 plus terabit of capacities. So the story behind DE-CIX coming into Malaysia, or rather the Southeast Asia region, it revolves around I think it's probably exactly 2.5 years ago, Frank. When you first took a cab to cross the causeway and met me in Johor Bahru, that's when we first discussed on our venture, and look how fast it is gone. So today we have successfully merged the JBIX together with DE-CIX Malaysia, and at the same time for DE-CIX Singapore as well. So during the pandemic, we have undergone this challenging task of integrating the networks, and also at the same time to migrate everybody's from the tradition, from the legacy JBIX platform over to the DE-CIX Apollon platform. So and today I'm proud to say that we have successfully migrated the bulk of our customers into the Apollon platform, and this is the kind of a platform that that can help to deliver additional services. The services that I will be elaborating shortly. Okay. Now this is a quick overview on how we have come to today. So we seal our JV partnerships in November 2019, and then in June 2020, we in the middle of the pandemic, we incorporated the DE-CIX Malaysia and DE-CIX Singapore, and then we commenced the Norwegian exercise, to start migrating customers over to the new platform after we finished building it in the middle of the pandemic, and then after that, the migration started in May, and then it continued through all until October. So in between, we have also added in the Brunei IX. Is one of our member IX. So that brings in the UNN. The UNN, which is the telco base in Brunei, and then also at the same time we have activated our cloud exchange, and then we brought in AWS cloud connectivities, as well as Azure. In the coming months, we are going to bring in the Microsoft Maps services. So this is a very interesting service that I hope you will find it useful. And then my colleague Haki will be presenting it together with Chris in a short while. Okay. So as of today, we the DE-CIX ASEAN operate 4 internet exchange, namely Kuala Lumpur, Johor Bahru, Singapore, and Brunei. So our interest doesn't really just stop here. We definitely want to bring this great connectivity ecosystems to more parts of Malaysia, especially. So I will be sharing a little bit on our plan in a short while. Okay. Now this is where we are in terms of the peering quadrants. We continue to expand in terms of our memberships, and then we added a number of players. Some of them are the significant players based in Malaysia. You can see on the bottom left quadrants, you can see some of the familiar names in there. And then also at the same time, we are also expanding in Kuala Lumpur, Singapore. And then in terms of the traffic volume, we have also grown tremendously from the JBIX days where we are hovering around 20 gig. We are now doing about 60 gig peak. So our traffic has grown threefold. Okay. Now these are the participants who are currently with us at the moment, and we have another quite a long list of the pending connectivities networks whom we already receive express of interest, and we are just waiting for them to activate the ports. Okay, so this is where we are today, and I'm very thankful to all your support, without which we will not be able to achieve where we are today. Okay, now next I would like to just for the benefit of the new members here, I would like to quickly run through some of the resources that we have in under the DE-CIX. Okay, first of all, I want to introduce to the new members. Yeah, the DE-CIX. We have a very comprehensive list of white papers. These are very interesting white papers that talks about the industry as a whole. An example is last year we have developed this white paper to investigate the interconnection markets in Southeast Asia. Essentially, we look at Southeast Asia's Singapore as a hub, Is there any possibilities of developing new hubs all around Southeast Asia? And then this is a white paper jointly developed with Telegeography. And then we investigated the possibilities of having a new hubs around the Southeast Asia, and the outcome is quite interesting. So I would encourage you to download it from this link over here. So other than that, there are also many others white papers which are very, very interesting. It talks about connectivity hubs all around the world. Depending on your interest in other markets, you will be able to find something of use to you. So this is the DE-CIX contributions to the industry. And then on the other hand, we also have DE-CIX have also developed a lot of training program, and these are the kind of a program that are suitable for the members who are new to peering. So you can see it under this link. It's all provided to you free of charge. So you just have to create a username, and then you will be able to log in and go through all the training courses there. Okay. Now a little bit about for the new members. In case you would like to place service orders, we do make available to you a customers portal where you can place service orders. Should you need any upgrades in your port, you can place order through the customers portals. In case you need a credential and ID to log in, you can contact Catherine Wong, who is my colleague who handles the business developments in these Southeast Asia regions. The contact is given over here. Feel free to reach out to her for your login IDs. Okay. Now I also want to quickly touch on the Looking Glass, which is one of the very interesting tools. I mean, I can tell for sure that comparing to the previous JBIX Looking Glass, this one do come with some enhancements. Okay, first of all, it does the traditional Looking Glass functions with a little bit of additionals, such as it also display the BGP community. So in DE-CIX we have because we run a distributed IX, yeah, and this IX span 3 different countries, and then and within the countries it span 2 different zones. So we develop a comprehensive BGP communities to help our peers, our peering members, to identify who to peer with and at what locations. And the way that we do it is by clusterings or tagging all the prefixes with the BGP communities. And you can see from our Looking Glass portals what are the BGP communities that you can find. So if you can look a bit further, a bit closer, you can see that we have a classification for KUL, which means the Kuala Lumpur Greater KL zones. And then we also have Malaysia zone, which is 464, 458. Okay, and then we also have the ASEAN communities, which tags all the members in these ASEAN zones. So by peering, by receiving routes based on these communities, yeah, you are able to define or limit who you get to who you would like to peer with. And then other than that, we also have other larger communities, BGP communities, such as those the RPKI. Depending on the RPKI status, you are able to receive the RPKI certified routes or not. And then so these are all the BGP communities that I would welcome you to explore. And these are all available, open to you in our Looking Glass portals. Okay. Now next, I would like to introduce my colleague Marco, who will be going through one demonstrations on our customer portals. So I will stop my sharing now and hand it over to Marco. Hey, Marcos.
Hi, thank you very much.
Welcome.
Nice to meet you all. Here's Marcos, based in Frankfurt, Germany. I'm responsible for software development here in DE-CIX, and I had the chance to share with you our customer portal. So let me share my screen. I hope you can see it. Yeah. Very good. So yes, so actually I don't know how much time I have. So if I'm running out of time, somebody should tell me stop, you're really running out of time. Okay, very good. So this is our customer portal, and the first thing you might realize, it's called Portal Beta. Here you see in the URL, and don't be scared about the beta label. The software is rock solid, and we expect to drop the beta label till the end of the year. Later, at the beginning of next year, we'll be moving this to the official portal status. And yeah, this is the login screen. And as Sven already said, you ask your customer representative to provide you with some username and organize an account. It's not possible to request an account here at the moment, feature coming soon. So contact your customer representative. So and then you log in, and then I'm gonna, this is productive service, this is the production, this is the real interconnection platform of DE-CIX. And the first thing you have is an overview of all your services that you have ordered. And you have here upcoming maintenances that might or might not be relevant to you. You can discard some or filter maintenances that might be relevant to you. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take since I'm administrator of this portal, I'm going to take the personality of one customer, a real customer, and this is the demo customer, as we call it, so that you realize this is what you really would see when you are a customer of DE-CIX logging into the portal. So this is not the administrative view anymore. This is the real customer view. And yeah, what you have here is the possibility to have an overview about all your accesses and services running on top of those accesses. And since this is a demo customer, we have ordered lots of services, and this is the reason why it's taking a bit longer to load. But you see, this customer is spending lots of money here at DE-CIX. You can filter your accesses, okay? So you can decide you just want to see cloud accesses, direct cloud accesses. You maybe just want to see GlobePEERs or GlobePEER remotes, and then, well, you can filter them. You can also filter by the location, where are those services terminating. You can see which ones are productive, which ones are running an error or just requested. Filter by ASN, in case you have more than one. This customer has two. And bandwidth and lag status. You can also search if you know you're looking for, I don't know, some VLAN, then you can search 554, and then you only those with a 554 will appear. Well, and you know what I'm going to do now? Maybe I'm just going to order something, okay? You need an access to order something. It's not possible to access orders at this point in time via the portal. This is something we will be working on beginning of next year. At this point in time, you only can order some service on top of an existing access. So let's order a peering service now. And there we go. You have the possibility to choose a customer or a sub-customer in case you are a reseller. You choose your ASN. In this case, I only have one to choose from. You say in which one of your accesses of DE-CIX you want to place your peering, and I want to do that in this one. I know it's in Frankfurt, and I want the peering service location to be in, I don't know, I'll choose Istanbul. And then in real time, you will have a calculation what the price of that peering is. You can move your slide here, say, and see the price increases. In case you have more than one peering service at the same location, there are bundle discounts. Those are calculated here. I'm choosing this. I know what is this going to cost. This is the monthly recovery cost, monthly recurring cost. And then I'm moving on. And then, yeah, I was spending too much time here with the CRF. I'm having a problem. I'll take care of that afterwards. And you choose what is the MAC address you are going to use for this. There is a list of MAC addresses you have already used for your peering. You can add a new MAC address. I don't know. I'm gonna use a new one. So there are some checks in there which are of syntactic nature. If you have the multicast, this is the bit which is at the end. So that's already in use. Okay, then this one, that's a multicast. Then this one, I don't mind. So it worked now. A VLAN ID of your choice, I don't know, 465, which is the which is the name of your ASET macro. This is not validated in real time. This will be used afterwards. And which is the RIR you're having your AS macro at optional BGP session password. This is not mandatory. All validations pass. I can move on. 465 VLAN ID. And then I'll have an overview now of my, oh no, I have to choose the contacts at the moment, correct? Don't disturb me now. Those are contacts that you store. It's like an address book. You store it in your profile, and it's people working here. You have the possibility to add external reference to your peering service to be able to correlate this to some internal processes. Also, the possibility to add a purchase order. Those are optional items. And now we'll get an overview. This is what we are going about to order. I'm this customer with this access at the peering location in Istanbul. This is the VLAN ID, 100 megabit. This is the MAC address. Those are my contact information. And I want to click here. This is binding legal order. And it's not just binding legal, but it's also being now provisioned in real time to the interconnection platform. So all the information that has been locally stored is now being sent to our on the one hand side, the CRM system, on the other hand, to the switches. And now this service has already been created and it's already there and can be used. When I go to next, it will be listed here under my peerings to Istanbul. And it takes a bit longer to load because there are a lot. But when I go to the peering remotes and I filter to the peering remotes, then I'll see that it will show up. I just order a peering service because I think this is the most the thing that it's ordered most. I could also order one direct cloud. I don't think if I have time left for that. On other interesting menu items are the possibility to access a knowledge base, which is a knowledge base that, oh, come on. So, which is a knowledge base, exactly, with topics that are relevant to our customers, exclusive content that we have placed here is things that sometimes are just classics, like how to enter your information, the peering database. Some things are more some up-to-date topics. This is our customer service is continuously taking care of this knowledge base. We also have some statistics. You can take a look at those about your own accesses, your own services. You can request other products of DE-CIX like Blackholing Advanced. And yeah, we also have here accesses to external tools, also the Looking Glass one that Weng already mentioned. And
excuse me.
Yes, please.
Could you please dive into the peering stats by ASN?
Yeah, sure, with pleasure.
Just real quick. Thanks.
Yeah.
Tracker relationships, that looks interesting.
Yeah. At this point in time, our customer, this demo customer has no traffic at all, okay? I only use it for demos and to order stuff, but there's no traffic running over it. So sincerely, I don't think they're going to be nice graphics being sent now or being displayed now. Exactly. You see, do we have no nice graphics to show you here? Because
hey, Vincent, do you care if we share our traffic between our two networks in Kale?
Come again, please.
I'm asking Vincent from Globe whether he cares if we share traffic stats inside of Malaysia.
I'm sorry, but I'm not hearing you very good.
I'm asking for Globe, Vincent, to approve that he shares traffic stats for a demonstration between our two networks in Malaysia.
Okay, I haven't prepared that. I'm sorry. I haven't prepared that.
All right, no worries. It would be nice to see some real traffic stats from somebody.
Okay, yes. Okay, that's true, but I don't know if impersonating now another customer and trying to do it. I mean, technically possible, but I haven't prepared that. I mean,
I'm saying that is the tool working? I'm sorry, it's 3 a.m. and I haven't had coffee, so I apologize.
Okay, and absolutely no problem. Yes, this is working to the best of our knowledge, and it displays real traffic statistics. Yes.
Yeah. Hey, well, we'll be happy to arrange for another session with you. Just to run through this. Thanks for the questions.
Oh, just when you're done, just send one graph with the S's wiped out. That way people can see that it actually works in a way that for me it's very beneficial. Anyway, I apologize.
No worries.
No worries, no worries. Thanks for the questions.
Was there any other question?
Well, once you get me going, you can't shut me up, so I'll be quiet.
Absolutely, and I just can take a look afterwards and look for one graphic, and I will anonymize the name of the customer, and I'll send it. I'll paste it right away.
Yeah,
I'm gonna do that.
Dankeschön.
Okay, Marcos. I think yeah. Please carry on then.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, as I said, this is the functionality at the moment. Yes, please. I'm sorry, I didn't hear that very well.
I think it was just a noise.
Okay.
Wani, do you have any question, Wani? No. Okay, it's okay.
Okay.
I think please go on. Yeah. Thank you.
I'll round it up with yet another order. I mean, I can also edit existing services, can change the MAC of services, can do upgrades to the services. I'm gonna just, for the sake of the exercise, order a direct cloud, and you can choose among different cloud providers. Those are the 4 we are supporting at the moment, and I'm gonna order for Amazon Web Services. So at this point in time, to be able to create a direct connect to Amazon, you have to introduce here your account number. This is something which is proprietary to you, and you know your account number at Amazon. And if you are a reseller, you can also order for a sub customer, but we're not doing that now. And here at this point in time, you choose where your access is, and you choose what is your wished cloud on-ramp location. And since I know that my access is in Frankfurt, I mean, can choose whatever. You choose the cloud on-ramp location where you have your cloud load working, where you have ordered your cloud computing power. I'm gonna do this also in Frankfurt, and you choose the bandwidth of that direct connect to AWS. Since this is real order, I'm gonna do a cheap one, so I don't have to pay much for the demo, and also the possibility for external references or POs. And it's as easy as this. You see a summary, you click on it, and now provisioning is also occurring in real time. As I said, this is a new order. but you could also take existing orders and upgrade them to your wish. We have created now the DE-CIX connection part, and now we have to go to the cloud provider and confirm there all the different options that we are choosing here. I'm going to use a very normal one, and now I'll have the opportunity at link to go to my cloud provider and confirm cloud provider side. Okay, there I cannot choose that one, but I'm going to choose a .1q with a VLAN ID that I haven't used before. I'm going to make this one up, 868. I have to remember that one. And the status is allocated because it's not confirmed cloud provider wise. So I'm going to go to my console, and I don't. Oh, there. I thought I had stored my. My credentials. I have to look for my credentials. Bear with me for a second, because I thought my browser had stored them, but it hasn't. In the meantime, maybe somebody wants to do some questions or something.
Okay,
I see.
great. I think this is this has already been provisioned, right, Marcos?
Yes, it is. I mean, it's really provisioned. As you see, it's allocated here in the status. I just would have to go to the cloud provider and confirm the otherwise, because that's logical. I mean, otherwise somebody could create direct connections to the cloud in my name. So I have to go to the cloud provider and confirm it. And this is the step which is missing, but it's just a pure formality.
Okay, that's great. Okay. Is there any questions from anybody before we move on? Okay, I think Marcos, please continue.
Okay, still look. Sorry, I got. I just was looking for the. Oh my dear! Come on, really? I'm. So I hadn't prepared this. Okay, I'm sorry. I either I'm stupid or I don't know what I'm doing. So
okay, Marcos, no worries. I think you have I think it's quite clear that the service has been provisioned. So
yes,
we are actually running a little bit short on time. We are overshot by about 7 minutes now.
I still have to look for those pictures with real traffic, and I'm going to post them there. Okay, and I'm going to do that right afterwards.
Okay, all right, that's great. Okay.
Something else?
Is there any questions before we move on? Thanks very much, Marcos, for the great presentations. Really appreciate that.
A bit bumpy. I'm sorry.
No worries, no worries. I think so. I think what Marcos has gone through is essentially the kind of functions that you can do when you log on to the customer portal. So please feel free to explore this. You know, if you have any questions at all, you know, our customer service is just one email away. Feel free to raise any questions. So end of the day, what we aim to do is to pass as much control and as much information as you need to your hand, so that you can decide what you want to do with that. Okay, so okay, so with that, a big thanks to Marcos. Really appreciate that. So next, I would like to introduce my colleagues Chris and Haki. They will be presenting on the cloud services, a bit more detail on what is the DE-CIX offering there. Chris, please go ahead, and Haki.
Thank you so much. Yes, I'll kick it off by talking about Blackholing at DE-CIX. So can you see my screen?
Yep, coming up.
Perfect. Yes. So basically, the motivation appears to be a bit trivial here. We know that there are a lot of big DDoS attacks going on in the internet, and that does not necessarily only affect the service availability. So not only attacks that aim on attacking web servers and really web services, but also big impacts on our networks, right? So ISP networks, intra-domain, inter-domain, everything is affected. And since they are really growing, we need to have a sort of first line of defense. So very simple mechanisms which we can use and employ to mitigate those attacks. So basically, there are two ways of doing so. One, and the upper one, is the common one, blackholing, which is around for 10, 15 years in all major ISP networks. And basically what happens is traffic is coming in a network, is announced from the receiving end, like in this case, the AS2, where the user sits, to its provider. And the provider does not only not forward the traffic to AS2, but actually AS1 can drop the traffic ingress already. So this can be and is translated to blackholing at also IXPs, introduced globally at DE-CIX roughly 5 years back. And it proved to be a very reliable tool to really mitigate DDoS attacks and to save backbone infrastructures. So the process is as follows. So in the first step, we actually need to identify attack traffic. So we need to understand from which peers the attacks are coming, or actually which IP address or IP prefix is attacked. Then we actually need to announce the relevant prefix that each and every traffic going to this prefix is dropped. And the mitigation part eventually is done by DE-CIX here. So this is our very simple scenario. So we have the cloud, which is the DE-CIX exchange, the switching fabric, and also the route server in the center of it. So we have 3 ASs. And for this scenario, we actually assume that ASC in the upper right corner receives DDoS traffic. And this DDoS traffic, he actually does not really know, it's not aware about, and has a significant bandwidth. So it actually does not really bother him. However, it actually does bother, in this scenario, the ASD. So it receives from multiple peers traffic, and actually the traffic that it receives here is really harming. And that means that the ports of ASD are saturated and it cannot really cope with it anymore. So now in our scenario, ASD detected that the prefix of it is under attack and needs to be resolved. So for this, it's a very simple mechanism. The ASD actually announces either next hop, a black hole community, and with a specific next hop IP address. And this is forwarded to all parties. So as an effect, the traffic which is sent from ASC with a next specific next hop address has a rewritten MAC address, and this is dropped by our MAC filters. This is not a very complex tool, and that's actually its beauty. So along the road, we actually figured out or offered to the customers, which we do nowadays, also the possibility to use the black hole community, which is a standardized RFC. So you could either do a different next hop, or you could do a black hole community to signal that you want to have all traffic sent towards this prefix is dropped at the IXP. And this is forwarded to all other peers, and yeah, will be implemented at the site there. So here is the actual RFC, which does the standardization of standardized BGP black hole community. You can also look all the details up there if you want. And to give you a bit of picture of how popular actually blackholing is on the internet, we collected some data material and inferred the BGP blackholing activity on the internet. So we saw over the study dates a few years back. However, the numbers are going up, and that's what we assume also happens. So the number of actual providers who enable BGP blackholing increased by about 100%, while the transit ASs as a reference only increased by 18%. So that means really we see an adaptation here. We see a 600% increase in users, which is actually quite significant if we consider that we looked at roughly 3 years of data. We saw a significant increase in prefixes that are blackholed over the time. And actually, if we look at the specific announcements that we can observe in the internet through a multitude of vantage points, we see that they actually correlate with attacks that were in the media or some events that were very significant. So if we look at the global distribution, like which provider ASs using blackholing and how many prefixes are actually blackholed by them, we can see that there is a focus that's a bit on Russia and the USA. I mean, given the fact that, which you probably all know, that IP address localization is a hard problem, and there are just sufficiently good databases, and that there are also reflection attacks, which not necessarily tell you where the attack is coming from, but just as an approximation to understand a bit what's going on. For the ASs that actually use Blackhole, we see a very similar picture and see that the majority of used blackholing is coming from enterprises. The content providers use blackholing the least. So we also performed a case study on the DE-CIX platform where we looked into really one bigger incident of 18 gigabits of attack traffic. And we see with a dotted vertical line here at July 27th, an increasing traffic levels, then blackholing got activated, and then all the traffic actually reduced, and we reduced the traffic by roughly 1/3 for this particular attack. So the customer announced blackholing, it went into effect, and the major effect of the DDoS attack was mitigated. So why is it not gone to zero? Obviously, it was selective announced to just a number of peers, not to all peers at the same time. And on the other hand, with the commodity blackholing that we present here and that is standardized, we also need the cooperation of all other peers who need to honor the prefix announcement coming from the route server in cases we want to drop traffic to more specifics. And in this case, the traffic actually went to /32, and the blackholing was announced with /32. So for internet routing, as we know, it's only possible to route until /24, but for the blackholing, the route server also accepts more specifics in this case. So I hope I could give you a quick intro into the blackholing topic at DE-CIX. I'm happy about feedback or you just trying it out and using it. It's a powerful tool, and we keep developing it and improving the efficiency over time as well. Thank you so much. That's from my side at this point. So probably if there are no questions, probably handing over to Haki.
Thanks, Chris. That's very interesting. I think it should also be mentioned that I think our blackholing method is now a patented technology that is pioneered by DE-CIX. Yeah.
Yes. So that's what probably in the very near future we can make the big announcement and also explain the details of where we're going down, what we aim to deliver in the future.
Okay, that's great. So
thank you.
Thank you very much, Chris. Okay, Haki, yep, your turn. Thank you.
Wonderful. Hello, guys. wonderful day from Austria. So to have some additional countries more on the list. So my topic today is cloud connectivity and Azure peering services. So as Weng mentioned before, my name is Harald Griener, short name is Haki, and I'm the Director of Business Development for Direct Cloud. And in the next 20 to 25 minutes, I would like to give you a short overview about the cloud connectivity stuff and the Microsoft Azure peering services. So I would like to start with that slide where it's important to understand why cloud connectivity is so important and peering as well. And let's do that stuff from the view of an enterprise, which you can see on the left side. And the enterprise would like to consume data from Microsoft or AWS, doesn't matter if it's cloud or if these are updates or something like that. So how does it work? The enterprise is connected via an internet service provider. Here in my picture, it's called ISPA. And the internet service provider is getting his data from Amazon or Microsoft via one or more transit carrier via the normal open and free internet. And if the ISP is connected to the DE-CIX platform and is getting peering sessions with Microsoft or AWS with our peering service, which was mentioned before, it's possible to receive the data in a shorter way. Why? Because we can exclude the IP transit carriers in between, and so you as enterprise will get the data quite faster than via additional hubs. And so for that, we all know the traffic amount is growing because of streaming, because of additional usage, because of more and more internet users are at the globe. It was important fact that all the cloud service provider created a new service to make the cloud workloads more available, more predictable and reachable via guaranteed latency. And that kind of service is called cloud connectivity. And if you take a look at the Microsoft environment, it's called Express Route in their jargon. And if you take a look at Amazon, it's called AWS Direct Connect. And in our environment, it's called Direct Cloud. And what is this Direct Cloud stuff? It's more or less a layer 2 connectivity, yeah, from the router of the enterprise via the ISP, via DE-CIX, to the entry point of the cloud service provider. And the entry point there is the virtual router, which belongs to the infrastructure of the enterprise, which means more or less it is a dedicated layer 2 connectivity between the infrastructure of the enterprise up to the cloud at the cloud service provider. And on top of it, to get the data running, yeah, you need to implement the PGP session between the physical and the virtual router. And that's not enough, yeah, because we all know Microsoft is sometimes a bit complicated. I tell it in the way that Microsoft is having an additional cloud, yeah, which is the Office 365 stuff or Microsoft 365 nowadays. And it's the connectivity to that kind of service needs to be done via Microsoft Azure peering services. But more regarding this topic a little bit later on. From the perspective of an enterprise customer, so I do have more or less two different ways, two different things of services which are running in the cloud. On the right side, we do have all the infrastructure as a service stuff like Azure, like Google Cloud Platform, everything which is running in AWS, or also the other clouds like Oracle or IBM and that stuff. And on the left side, we do see the Microsoft Azure peering services, which are more or less the Office 365 stuff, which is Dynamics, which is SQL Server. And so for that, it's a different way how to connect to that services. But at first, let's focus on direct cloud. Yeah? Why is the cloud connectivity so important? As I mentioned before, the amount of traffic is growing. So we need to have especially private connectivity for securing my workloads which are running in the cloud. Yeah, that is really, really important to secure the bandwidth, to secure the latency, to have everything what is moved into the cloud from on-prem in that way reachable, that it fits to my business. Yeah, and the answer here is more or less the cloud connectivity, and we as DE-CIX did a cloud exchange where it's possible to get all that cloud service providers with one physical connection based on a layer 2 connectivity to reach out at services. Here's something to read for later on for the handouts. It is direct cloud, it's the dedicated connection in the cloud. So what did we do in APAC? So we started with some cloud service providers. Not everyone is at the moment connected. So we started with AWS and Microsoft, but the other ones will follow as soon as possible. So it's possible to jump into the Microsoft cloud, to jump into the AWS cloud, yeah, doesn't matter if you are connected in Singapore or Kuala Lumpur. So everywhere it's possible to jump into the clouds. Important because of a lot of customers are asking for is always the way of how to implement and how to do the connectivity. And I would like to mention here, so we do have in the middle the DE-CIX environment where we did some connections to different clouds, where we built up the services on a redundant way, on a redundant path. And quite often customer is asking how to connect really in a redundant way, yeah, with redundant handovers, with redundant routers. So if it comes to that point that you need to plan that for a customer, please let us know. We can support you on that. It's possible to do everything redundant, but it depends a little bit on the requirements of the customer. But if you need any special consultancy here, just let me know, or just let Weng or the team know. We can help you on that. So let's jump into the Microsoft Azure peering services. You remember that sort of graphics. On the left side, we are talking about the solutions which are reachable via maps. But first of all, let's do a short differentiation between infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service. Important here to, are there any questions? No, okay, just unmute. So let's talk about the differentiation here, because of it's very, very important to understand. Yeah? The source of that information is from Microsoft. More or less, we have on the left side the infrastructure as a service stack, which is more or less focused on IT Pro building solutions in the cloud. The business model is based on virtual infrastructure, networking level. It's the costs are per hour, per instant, per gigabyte, per terabyte, whatever. Yeah? So it's really that kind of services you had in the past in your local data center or on your local virtual machines. If we take a look on the software as a service stack, it's more or less focused on users consuming a cloud application, a piece of software. And the business model there is not based on infrastructure, it's based on the application level. It's based on per user. Yeah. So a typical example is, from my point of view, Microsoft Teams or Microsoft 365 or Office 365, where you pay per user instead of per hour or per instance or per gigabyte. So the infrastructure as a service stack is location specific, which means more or less if you do a deployment, you need to know where to place your virtual machine, where to place the virtual router. You need to place it in Singapore, an example, or you need to place it somewhere else in the world, but you have the choice where to set up that service. And if you take a look at software as a service, yeah, it's highly distributed. And if you create a new Office 365 user, you don't know exactly where the data is located. Yeah? And so it's more or less, the focus is on scale out across the planet. Doesn't matter where it's running, it needs to run. And back to the infrastructure as a service, it's more or less, we are extending our on-premise networking stuff into the cloud. So more or less that what is running in the cloud belongs also to the services which are running on-prem. Which means more or less we do have here a security boundary which can be a router or a virtual firewall in the cloud or on-prem. And if we switch to software as a service, we need to think about, we do have a new approach of secure security and networking. We're talking here about two-factor authentication. And so we need to do more or less a fully redesign of security boundaries. And if it comes to the Microsoft Azure peering services, it is totally the right side. It's software as a service, which is really, really focused on that kind of connectivity. And you can see here in the middle, we do have platform as a services, which is in the Microsoft world, in example, Dynamics, Microsoft SQL Server, DevOps and all that stuff. And these services can be reached via Microsoft Azure peering service or via ExpressRoute, the cloud connectivity stuff. But more here about that stuff later on. So the benefits of Microsoft Azure peering services of Maps are, Maps is designed really for enterprise customers, which means more or less it's not designed for service providers, it's not designed for carriers and not designed for content providers. It's designed really for enterprise customers. Because of the enterprise customers getting a direct peering session via us as DE-CIX, we do aggregate that peering sessions and hand it over to Microsoft. It's a DDoS safe connectivity to Microsoft. Why? Because of it's a dedicated path with no other one in the middle. That means, in example, if you have a big customer who is having, I don't know, thousands of Microsoft 365 seats in his company, and he would like to have a DDoS safe connectivity to Microsoft, he can do Maps instead of having a DDoS prevention provider or something else in the middle. It is a SLA-based routing. It's SLA-based from Microsoft. It's really a low latency and a dedicated path. And it's possible to do some traffic analysis with the Microsoft telemetry package. And really, really important and good to know, in the Microsoft environment, the outbound data is for free, which is a total difference to compare with ExpressRoute, where you need to pay for every single gigabyte of traffic which runs out of the Microsoft cloud. And we call the Microsoft Maps service, it's the insurance for enterprises for Microsoft 365 workloads. Here a short table where you can see the difference between direct cloud and Maps, for which kind of workload it's recommended or possible. If we take a look at Microsoft Infrastructure as a Service at Azure, it's recommended to use direct cloud, not Maps. You can do, but it doesn't make sense in that way. For Microsoft 365, Maps is the best practice. For Dynamics 365, it's Maps is the best practice. And for Azure Platform as a Service, it's possible, but it depends a little bit on the usage. So if you have any questions here, or if you have some customers who are asking for, please let us know. We can support you here in the background and identify if it's a real use case for your customer or not. So how does it look like? If we take a look, how is the implementation done? The Maps instance in our environment is more or less something like a closed user group. It's really independent, running in our infrastructure at our fabrics from the peering stuff. It's encapsulated, and so for that it's possible to do the really one-to-one peering sessions with Microsoft. Really important to know here is that Microsoft is not, if you as an enterprise customer would like to have a peering session with Microsoft AS number, Microsoft is not accepting that. You can try to get the approval, but more or less enterprise customers are not allowed to do that stuff. Yeah, any questions so far? Wonderful. If not, you can see here my contact details. If you have any questions later on, I would like to have a more detailed discussion about that stuff, please let me know. Just drop me a short email. And so thank you for listening. I will go, will hand over back to Wang.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Haki. Really appreciate that. I know this is for the peering guide, this may get a bit heavy, but it's very useful. I mean, I've gone through the Maps product, and I think it's a wonderful product, and it's definitely timely for the current market where the businesses are moving heavily into the Office suite, such as the Microsoft Office 365. I think it's very timely for that. Okay,
yeah.
Thanks.
When may I add here a short comment?
Sure.
I've forgotten to say. I called enterprise customers are interested in that map service. It is true, it is really, really interesting for big ones. That means more or less that ones who have more than 500 or 1,000 seats to connect to Office 365. This is exactly that kind of target group where it's really, really interesting for them to do that connectivity.
Yeah.
So now I'm out. Thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah. So well, DE-CIX do have some partnership program that I will elaborate a little bit further shortly, to see how we can work together with our members to expand this opportunity here. Okay. Now, is there any other questions, anyone?
I think we can just leave the questions during the Q&A session.
All right. Yeah.
Okay.
My apology. I think we are running a little bit short of time. So let me just quickly jump over to the next topic. And this is a topic that me and Frank we will quickly elaborate a little bit. Now, as I mentioned that cloud is a very important component of our digitizations, and I attended the Gartner symposiums just 2 weeks ago, and this is one of the predictions from Gartner when it comes to distributed cloud. So they are projecting that more than 76% of the organizations prefer to have cloud computing at a location of their choice. So meaning that given that the business are all distributed across the geographical regions, we need to have more presence. The cloud players need to have more presence as near to the customers as possible, because customers are accustomed to getting the cloud services as near to them as possible. So this pretty much define the DE-CIX game plan in Malaysia, because we want to bring the connectivities, the ease of connectivity that DE-CIX has developed, to as many customers as close to their businesses as possible. So so we have this is actually one of our goal in the next coming years. So given that the DE-CIX traditionally we have been deploying GlobePEER, allowing members to peer with one another's, exchanging internet traffic. The cloud exchange is a very important component of extending this one step further, the value of our digital hub. So the direct cloud is one of the products that we feel that all our partners should be able to leverage on, and for that reasons, we have a very comprehensive partnership program that we welcome partners from all segments, all verticals, to come and join us in promoting our cloud exchange products. So we have a very comprehensive partnership program to incentivize resellers. And then we also have a transport partnership program to incentivize, telcos who are not familiar with cloud, but then they would like to be, to take advantage of this program. So they can come in as a transport partner to us in extending the cloud exchange services to the end users. So, and then we also have a partnership manager. His name is Omar Vega. This is his email address. Feel free to write to him if you are interested to be a partner. So the idea is, if you are already an existing DE-CIX customers, leveraging on the port that you're getting your service now, you can extend the DE-CIX services to your customers. For example, if you already have a 10 gig or a 100 gig port, you can very easily extend the direct cloud services as an additional add-on service to your port, and then you can then backhaul this service to your customers, and then we can work with you in terms of the commercials. We want to help you to win and secure the customers. Okay, so and then we also have a reseller program. So essentially the reseller programs can, reseller, you can sell the DE-CIX services as part of your own product portfolio. So you can bundle it together with your services, and then we have many different types of service level, traffic level to cater to your customers' needs. Okay. Let me just quickly move on. Sorry, I think we are running a little bit short of time. Now, looking ahead. Now, obviously, the DE-CIX and JBIX, we went into these joint ventures to develop the market, and we are very passionate about expanding beyond where we currently are. So one of the opportunity that we are looking at right now is expanding beyond our current footprint. So as you're aware, currently we operate our services in 4 locations, namely KL, which we call it the Greater KL, Johor Bahru, Singapore, and Brunei. So we are looking at the next destination, which is Penang. So we have identified a building known as Suntec to be our next stop. So why Penang? For those who are not familiar with Penang, it's actually known as the Silicon Valley of the East. Indeed, many of the largest semiconductors companies, they have set up their base, the ASEAN base in Penang. These are the likes of Intel and a few others semiconductor downstream developers. Penang is also the 3rd largest city in Malaysia. Is a location where is very rich in multinationals activities, multinational businesses, and the business community has always been very receptive to the new connectivities options. So this is one of the reasons why we have chosen Penang to be our next development point. Now, our aim in coming to Penang is to build a local interconnection ecosystems. So the idea is if we are able to localize the content in Penang, we will be able to enhance the internet performance between all the Penang networks by keeping the traffic local. So that is actually one of our aims there. And then with the ecosystems that we create with an IX there, we can further develop the ICT industries. And then we can also support the local digital economy, which is one of the very strong initiatives from a local state government there. And then we also want to use the IX as a catalyst for the data center hub developments. Currently in Penang, they are. I think the state is very interested in pushing the data centers hub. So we look at the establishment of an IX there as a catalyst for these activities. And then, of course, with the IX, comes the localization of the traffic, and then with the localization of the traffic comes the reductions in the latency and the increased performance of the internet. So that will unlock the possibilities for 5G, the edge computings, AI, IoT. All these possibilities become real. So this is actually one of the. So we look at our IX deployment as a very strategic investment. So and we are very, very hopeful that the local industry will reap the big benefit from this. And this is where the so we developed this plan. We call it the traffic localization plan. So the idea is we work with the business communities in Penang to localize traffic. So the Penang traffic, we will encourage all the Penang traffic to be exchanged locally in Penang instead of bringing it back to KL and exchanging KL and then going back to Penang again. So we created this traffic localization plan as a means to develop the local ecosystems in Penang. So this is the location of the Suntec. Penang is connected to the mainland via 2 bridges. So Suntec is in the middle of these 2 bridges in the Penang Island. So it's in a location known as Payang Lepas, which is an industrial area, very rich with multinational companies focusing in manufacturing sectors. Okay. Now, we are looking for founding members. As of today, we haven't launched this Penang IX yet, but we are looking for founding members. So we definitely welcome participants, here who are interested to participate in the creation of this internet hub in the northern region of Malaysia. To come and reach out to us and help us to create these ecosystems together. Okay, so that would be the end of my presentations. Frank, do you have anything to add, Frank? Oops, Frank. I think we lost Frank.
I have a question, please.
Oh yeah. What, please?
What does it mean to be a founding member?
Yeah. Okay. Founding members will essentially be the one who will get to participate in the some of the decisions that made up the initial policies of the internet exchange. For example, the rates. And then in terms of the state government involvements, we part of our Penang IX, we have tried to get as much support from the state government as possible. So as a founding members, you will also be able to participate in the discussions on these digital ecosystems creations in Penang. So well, at this stage, we haven't firmed up on the charges yet. So we are still trying to recruit as many founding members as possible in order to collectively bring down the cost. Okay, so what?
Count Hurricane Electric in to help you. We're happy to help you guys grow wherever we can.
Wow, yeah, that would be great. I can I know I can count on you. Well, thanks for that. Okay, I think I think Frank has gone to. I think he has left, and he has an appointment to take his next shot.
Yeah, Wang, I think we can move on to the Q&A session, considering that you know, we've basically updated about Penang activities for news updates. Yeah, so I think we can just start our Q&A session already, and we already have one question in the chat box. I believe this question is for Harold. Which DE-CIX POP or point of presence is available for Cloud Exchange and Maps services?
Absolutely, yeah.
Harold, over to you.
Thank you very much. So more or less every location where it's possible to jump into the DE-CIX network is possible to do the handovers to the clouds. So that means it doesn't matter if you're connected in Singapore or Malaysia, wherever, you can use that kind of access, that kind of connectivity, including our transport to the next cloud on-ramp. That means more or less from Malaysia, you can use the cloud on-ramps in Singapore, you can use the cloud on-ramps in Kuala Lumpur, it doesn't matter. And regarding maps, at the first shot, maps will be available in Singapore and later on in Kuala Lumpur.
All right, thanks very much, Harold. Okay, we got another one here. I think, Wang, this is for you. Is there a plan to expand Malaysia and in the region for DE-CIX?
Yes, well, definitely. There are actually regions in Malaysia that we feel are still in needs of local exchange, local traffic localization plan. So definitely, we will be looking at opportunity to start those projects with our partners. Again, we you know, we are in the business of creating communities, creating ecosystems. So we need partners to make this happen. So we are continuously exploring for ways to improve on our internet connectivities around the countries. So we definitely have a few more locations in mind, but we will be taking our steps one at a time. Yeah.
Great. Yeah, good to know that, Wang. We have another one, actually. I think this question should be for Marcos or Catherine, if you're in the call. Yeah, what is the turnaround time for our trouble ticket? Yeah, this is a good one. Marcos, Catherine, over to you guys.
Well, our response time is standard between 2 to 4 hours, depending to what type of troubleshooting tickets is it. So it should be between the next business day as well.
Okay, yeah. Thank you, Catherine. Oh, another one from the same person. What is the SLA? Catherine, you want to take this one too?
Well, as most of participants are aware that we do have the industrial kind of service level assurance for all the customers, including virtual PNI, peering connectivity, and so on. Nonetheless, the service SLA, depending what type of services they subscribe to. Based on the industrial standard, we are providing 99.99% for most services. Hope that answered the questions.
Yeah, thank you, Catherine. Yeah, I got a question for you, Wang. What is the benefit of being part of a larger ecosystem in the region?
I think the way the digitization works for most business users is that last time traditionally we have you know, businesses relies on the internet routings to you know, to connect from one point to another, and more business users are looking at ways to reduce on the connectivity latency. So I think the IX is here to help our service provider partners and the business users to address the latency issues. Malaysia, we have already gone from the days when people are asking for speed to today where people talk about the latency. We have businesses from financial sectors who are now asking the questions: how do we reduce from 10 milliseconds down to 5 milliseconds, for example, in order to cope with the increase in the e-commerce transactions. And then we also seen industry, for example, the automotive industry, where they are looking for ways to reduce the latency connecting to the autonomous vehicle. And all these applications require the sub-milliseconds, and for most cases it's way less than 5 milliseconds. Without a distributed, without an IX or connectivity hubs or more connectivity hubs around the regions, it's hard to achieve this kind of a latency goal. And one of the things that DE-CIX we can help is being by running this kind of a distributed IX, our traffic or our peering partners, they do not need to build new POPs in a new locations when the traffic volume cannot justify it. They can very easily leverage on the distributed backbone that we built to serve the smaller communities at the remote locations. And then when the traffic volume has grown to a level that can justify for them to build a remote POP, build a POP at the remote locations, then they can go ahead and do that. So I think this is one of a great way for us to help our OTT partners as well as the IBO partners, for them to expand very, very cost effectively and in a lot more cautious manner. So and we welcome all our partners to make use of this distributed IX, to build the better internet out there.
All right, thank you so much, Wang. Now, before I move on to the next question, I just want to remind everyone that if you have a question, you can go ahead and unmute yourself, or you can just leave your question in the chat box and then we'll attend to it. So yeah, moving on to the next question. I think this could probably be for Harold or Wang, yourself. Which DE-CIX POP is available for Cloud Exchange and Maps services?
Okay, I think I'll pass that to Haki. Go ahead.
Yeah, so thank you. We had that question before, but no worries. So every DE-CIX location where it's possible to use that location as on-ramp for cloud. So it doesn't matter where you are connected. Okay, well, thanks. Yeah, next one. How to peer with networks outside Malaysia over DE-CIX?
Okay, I can take that questions. Well, in our distributed IX, for example, we operate multiple VLANs in our distributed IX, and this VLAN is based on the locations. For example, if you are in KL, you will be presented with 3 VLANs. One known as the local VLAN, which is the Greater KL VLAN. And then the second VLAN is known as Malaysia VLAN, which will help with you connect you domestically between different locations in Malaysia. Currently we have KL and JB, so Malaysia VLAN will connect you between Malaysia and JB. And then we also have the third VLAN known as the ASEAN VLAN. So the ASEAN VLAN connects you between countries. So if you are in Malaysia, in KL, you're connected to the ASEAN VLAN, meaning that you can leverage on the ASEAN VLAN to peer with your peer in Singapore as well as in Brunei. So by leveraging on different VLAN, you are able to to peer with different peers in different geographical regions. So you don't really need to build a presence at the remote locations until when your traffic volume justifies.
Okay, great. Yeah, I don't see any more questions here. Yeah. So if any of you have any questions, you can just send in an inquiry to us, and you'll be receiving a survey as well after this webinar. You know, we would love to hear your thoughts on our first DE-CIX onboarding webinar, actually. So I don't think there are any more questions. I guess we can just end this webinar. Oh, before that, let's just take a group photo. So I would need everyone in this meeting, I would say, to switch on your cameras, as we're just going to take a quick group photo. Yeah, okay, yep. There we go. I still see some, yeah, I don't want to see names. I want to see pictures. I mean, I want to see people. Okay, we've got more. Yep. There we go.
Very happy to see everybody's faces. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, Felicia, whenever you're ready. All right, smile, yes, everyone.
Hi guys. Yeah. I'll just signal. 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay, next screen. I see a lot of names.
Still seeing names.
Sun Wei, Faiz, Jason, Melissa. Can I see less names, more faces? Okay, I'll try.
I see a lot of names here.
Hey.
Okay, never mind. Give me a okay, another one. 1, 2, 3. One more. Okay. Freestyle if anyone's in the mood. Okay.
All right, great.
Thanks, Dia. Very nice.
Well, thank you so much, everyone, for attending this webinar. You'll be receiving a survey shortly. And yeah, thank you so much. Have a good day, everyone. Thank you to all the speakers as well. Have a good day.
Thank you all for the support.
Yep.
I really appreciate that. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.